Thanks for tuning into Science Friday, the podcast that explores scientific questions submitted by our listeners. Today, we have listeners in California, Texas, and Colorado. First, we will attempt to answer a question of Joey Martins of California. Joey has an interesting question about bird migration.
Tuning. Science.
Science.
Friday.
Explores.
Explores.
Scientific
Questions. Submitted. Listeners. California. Texas. Colorado. Texas. First. Attempt. Answer. Question. Joey. Martins. California. Interesting. Bird. Migration.
Có nào không?
Migration. Thanks for tuning into Science Friday. The podcast that explores.
Scientific. Questions. Submitted.
Thanks for tuning into Science Friday.
Thanks for tuning into Science Friday.
A podcast that explores scientific questions. The podcast that explores scientific questions submitted by our listeners.
The podcast that explores scientific questions submitted by our listeners.
Today we have listeners in California, Texas.
Today we have listeners in California, Texas,
and Colorado. First, we will attempt to answer a question of George Martin of California.
First, we will attempt to answer a question of Joey Martins of California. Joey has an interesting question about bird migration. Thanks for tuning into Science Friday.
Thanks for tuning into Science Friday.
Science Friday, the
podcast that explores Paris.
Podcast that explores scientific
That explores scientific. Explores scientific
questions
submitted
by our
by our
listeners.
Today we have listeners in California, Texas, and Colorado.
Today, we have listeners in California, Texas, and Colorado.
First,
First, we will attempt to answer a question of Joey Martins of California. Joey has an interesting question about bird migration.
migration.
Begin preparing now.
Thanks for tuning into Science Friday, the podcast that explores scientific questions submitted by our listeners. Today we have listeners in California, Texas, and Colorado. First, we will attempt to answer a question of Joy Mastin of California. Joy has an interesting question about birds migration, 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 migration.
Begin speaking now.
Thanks for tuning into Science Friday, the podcast that explores scientific questions submitted by our listeners. Today we have listeners in California, Texas, and Colorado. First, we will attempt to answer a question of Joy Mastin of California. Joy has an interesting question about bird migration.
Begin preparing.
Now it's time for local weather forecast in most of the region.
Now it's time for the local weather forecast in most of the region.
The region is be snowy.
It'll be snowy,
It'll be, it'll be,
windy, and cold. It'll be snowy,
it'll be snowy.
windy, and cold for the remainder of the week.
Also Tuesday.
Although Thursday,
Tuesday,
we will see some
we will see some
rising temperatures.
temperatures.
The snow will
The snow will
continue in some areas until this Sunday.
continue summer. Yo. Now it's time for a local weather forecast.
Now it's time for the local weather forecast in
Forecast.
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 most of the region.
In most of the region.
Region.
Region. Now it's time for the local weather forecast. In most of the region. Now it's time for the local weather forecast. Most of the reason the
Local. Weather. Forecast.
forecast forecast is pretty snowy.
It'll be snowy,
It'll be snowy,
windy,
windy, and cool
and cold for the
and cold,
Cold.
cold and cold for the
remainder of the week.
remainder the week.
It'll be snowy, windy, and
It'll be snowy, windy, and cool of the remainder
cold for the remainder of the week.
for the remainder of the week. Also Tuesday.
Although
Although
Thursday,
Tuesday, although Tuesday, we will see some rising temperature. Although Thursday, we will see although Thursday, we will see some rising temperature.
we will see some rising temperatures.
Temperatures. Temperature.
Temperatures.
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 Temperatures. Temperatures. Temperatures.
Temperatures.
Temperatures. So now we continue.
The snow will
So now we
continue
continue
in some areas until
areas
this Sunday.
this Sunday. Now it's time for the local weather forecast. In most of the region, it's it's will be it's will be it's really it's be snowy, windy, and cold of the remainder of the week. Although Tuesday will see some rising temperatures, the snow will continue in some area, some area until this Sunday
Areas.
areas.
Begin preparing now.
Now it's time for the local weather forecast in most of the region. It be it be it be snowy, windy, and cool of the remainder of the week. Although Thursday, we'll see some rising temperatures. The snow will continue in some area till this Sunday. Alright, rồi, in some area until this Sunday.
Begin speaking now.
Now it's time for the local weather forecast. In most of the region, it'll be snowy, windy, and cool for the remainder of the week. Although Thursday, we will see some rising temperatures. The snow will continue in some area until this Sunday.
Begin preparing.
On today's program.
On today's program.
On today's programs. On today's programs. On today's program, we'll be talking with Simon Roberts.
On today's program, we'll be talking with Simon Roberts,
With Simon Roberts.
famous for his role in the movie Last Christmas.
Famous.